Ooh, wrong one. Okay. Hello, hello. Hey, Spec. My day was okay for the most part. We finally got the all the cards and stuff. Just got them and just made it time. Hey, welcome, bros. Welcome, welcome. Sorry if it's no, that's just my phone. Never mind. But welcome. I'm going to be going over all the cards for Lyrical DZ set 1. There's not that many cards, so we won't be here forever. But I wanted to also look at the TCG player for set 4 prices from Lyrical. And also just talk about cards and stuff on CFA. I probably won't play games today. I'll probably do it later though. Just gonna give it a couple more minutes. But I'm glad you was able to make it here, bros. Does this time work better for other people? Because I usually stream earlier, but today I was not feeling streaming early in the morning, so decided to just wait till later. And I know other people stream at 6 too, so I decided, and no one's streaming today, so might as well. Which rarity of the Lyrical balls looks the best to you? The silver. I'm going to be getting the silver rare. If it's not too much, but considering how many people don't really like the new boss, it should be cheap, I hope. But we'll just see when it gets expensive promo. On my way to pick you up something Vanguard related. Pick up something wait, on my way to pick something Vanguard related up. Oh, okay. It's 6, so okay, I guess we could start. So, oh, I did not think this through. Well, I can sort of translate it, but the issue is I try to have CFA up at the same time to just go through the cards as well. But we're just not going to do that. We're just going to read it off here, so. These are the triple R's? That's a double R. Okay. So, this is Divine's Booster 1, Faded Clash. And this is Lyrical. So Lyrical didn't get that much stuff, but I think it's enough that I still want to talk about it. And I was going to do a video on Chris Rain. Chris Rain, but I decided, and the set is going to come out. I can finally like, ooh, I deleted it. Hold on. I got to get it back up again. Translate. And okay, we're back. So, like I said, there's not that many cards in this set, but I still wanted to go over it, so we're just gonna do it in order. So, we have, we have Chris Rain, the boss, I think Fated of Ever-Changing one, Chris Rain. So she has 2 abilities, which is Cameras 1. You do one of the following. If you have 4 or more units, do 2 instead of 1. And if you have 5 or more, do all of them instead of 1. Depending on how many different units you have on your Vanguard regular circle. So one of the effects is you could draw 1 to energy charge 3. Another one is that you could choose one of your units and give it 15,000 power to end of the turn. And another one is during this turn, this unit gets 1 critical. And the second ability is a divine skill, which is auto Vanguard. At the end of battle, this unit attacked at grade 3 or greater. Cost, return all regards to your hand. Choose the 1 unit card from your hand and call it to regular circle. Increase or decrease that unit's power and critical to the same as this unit. And divine skill is going to be used once per game. Mermaid, she's Highlander, Monkey's Paw. Well, for one, no, she's not. In her lore, she helped found Lyrical Monasterio. Like I've been saying, this is probably the Great Mermaid. That's that was with the sage. That helped with the help of the sage. The Great Sage was able to make Lyrical Monasterio. So, Chris Rain. Oh, yeah, you didn't hear my thoughts. Well, other than what I said on Twitter, I think that this unit has like a lot of like resources that you gain from it, because you could draw 1 at energy charge 3, and on your first grade 3 turn, if you're going first or second, you can possibly use 7 energy to draw another card if you're behind. The second effect, you could choose any unit, right? It doesn't have to be your Vanguard. But if you're going to be doing the divine skill, you would choose your Vanguard, obviously, to get the 50k power. But you can choose like one of your rear guards, so it just adds that another layer of utility. And the last effect, give your Vanguard critical. I mean, you just get a crit. It's kind of nice just to have down that early pressure. Like most Lyrical decks, other than like, I think Sienna and I don't think Laurel gets a crit on turn 3. It's like Sienna herself and Celestial that can get a crit early. But with this requirement of just having different named units, it's sort of easy to fulfill. It's just for the cost of a Counterblast rather than like going through some complicated hoops to get this crit and all these effects. The divine skill itself, you do return all of your regards to your hand. It's costless. It doesn't need you to have any like additional cost to be played. Finno also gets a crit on turn 3. Yeah. That too. I forgot about Finno. There's so many decks I just kind of forgot. Finno can also do that. But with the divine skill, since it's free, you get an extra 4th attack. And it copies this Vanguard's critical and power. So if you do get the over trigger, you can put it on the Vanguard herself, and then you copy that unit's power. It's the same as her, so you get an over trigger as well as like an extra 10k and like 2 extra crit. So I don't blame you. She sucks. I don't think Finno sucks. She just needs more support. I feel like it's a fun deck, honestly. She has a lot of potential. The cards just aren't there yet. But I'll talk more about Chris Rain later, about like what I think about like deck building stuff, but overall I think this card is like okay for right now. The divine skill was kind of underwhelming at first, but that'll probably improve as we get more support cards. Next we have Innocent Orange Innis. So she has 2 abilities, which is auto. When it's used, place a rigor circle. If you have a greater Vanguard with Chris Rain in its card name, cost -1 and Energy Blast 3. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck. Choose up the one of your units that do not have the same name as this unit or your Vanguard, and you may call it to rigor circle and shuffle your deck. And the second ability is auto. Rigor circle. When this unit attacks a grade 3 or greater, if you have 4 or more units with different names, this unit gets times of power to the end of battle. So in this, I think it's a good card. You're able to essentially like call a card from the top 5 of your deck, so you can press your deck. You can search for important units. It shuffles, so if you have any like cards that put cards back into deck, you can shuffle. Yes, it is Digiforce art, I believe. Yep, Digiforce. And the first ability, needing energy, is fine too, because Chris Rain herself also just energy charges 3 for one of the effects, so it's fine as well. The second ability, well, for auto, it's a nice beat stick. She always hits 20k if you get the 4 more different units, which herself and Chris Rain are already 2. Just need 2 other different units, which shouldn't be too hard to achieve. So she will always be at least a 20k attacker. Your opponent always has to at least toss at least 10k shield to guard it. So overall, pretty good card for Chris Rain. Yeah, that's pretty much it. The only thing is that you're not able to call like obviously the Vanguard herself, because they don't. I guess they didn't want you to like keep chaining the effects over and over. So next we have Dazzle Bubble Paradise. Piercy. Yeah. She has 2 abilities, and this is pretty much like a cycle card that every nation got. So the first effect is auto. When this unit is discarded from your hand during the guard circle, or will you ride from deck, you draw 1, and you may pay the cost by drawing by counter blasting 1 or energy blasting 3. And the second ability is when this unit is on placed on rigor circle, if you persona roll this turn, cost counter blast 1 or energy blast 3 or energy blast 3. Okay. Choose one of your units to get 5 of power to the end of the turn, and choose one of your regards at the end of turn. You return that unit to your hand. So, it's easy to sample any deck that has space. Yeah, I haven't tested it yet. Like I've heard that it's really, really good in decks that have the space. I can see the first effect just being really good. Like if you're being rushed early, call it to guard a circle, and then you can just energy blast 3. Stride Labrador, where she's able to like choose 2 Prism rearguards, and they get the effect of they get 5 of power. At the end of the turn, they return back to hand. But I think for Labrador's case, it's like at the end of the battle, but it's sort of similar to this. So, if your deck isn't like xenophobic, like needing specific cards to function, like Clarissa or Felty, I think this card is very, very good. Just because when you persona ride, you can choose one of your other units, right? You can't choose herself, unfortunately, but you can choose another unit, give it 5k power, and it just returns back to your hand. So if you need to like dump everything in your hand, if you have this in your hand too, like say if you need to call a Perfect Guard just to like make those numbers, or just to have a board, you can return your PG back safely, as well as just any other unit, right? If you give this to Yuika, you can just return that. You return Yuika and the card she bounced back to her hand. If it's Strega, you can choose Strega herself. And then after she attacks, you bounce back to hand. In your next turn, you can use Strega's effects again. So it's a very, very strong card that can be played in multiple different decks. Yeah, that's all we have to say. I really like the art. It's probably one of my favorite arts from that isn't Chris Ann. Wait, what? Let me go back to the card list. It went to the over trigger. It was supposed to do that. Okay. Well, we had an over trigger, which is just a lyrical over trigger. When you check it during your when you check it during your battle phase, until the end of the fight, all of your rear guards get 10,000 power. So it's pretty good. Big Four, Yuka, Streget, Vash, Lol. I mean, that's like a Maryland deck, right? But we're not on Maryland stuff yet. But she did get a double R in this set. So Bleed Girl Rispo. So she has two abilities, which is auto. When this unit is returned from rearguard circle to your hand, if you have a Vanguard grade 3 or greater with Maryland in its card name, you could draw one by paying Counterblast 1. And the second ability is auto. Rearguard circle. When this unit attacks, you can Soul Blast 1. It gives this unit 5,000 power. During that battle, if you Soul Blast a grade 3 or greater card with Maryland as card name, you get she gets 15,000 power instead of 5,000 power. So, for Maryland herself, this is a good card because you're able to call this card, and then Maryland will bounce. And then you can Karamas 1 to draw a card. Then you can call her back again. And you can essentially attack with a 18k and then a 28k on your Persona Ride turn. So she hits pretty good numbers. Like on Persona Ride, if you Soul Blast just 1 normally, she'll be 28, which is really good. And then when she comes back down again, she'll be 33? No. She'll be 30. No, like 43 or something like that. She'll be a higher number by herself. But also this, I believe this first effect, it doesn't have to be returned by your Vanguard. If it was just returned to hand, you can Countermouse 1 and draw a card. So if you play Yuika in this deck, you can essentially just bounce her back and you can draw a card from her effect. So if you have 2 of her in the front row and a Yuika behind her, you can essentially draw a lot more cards. So it's a good beater. I think it's a good way to just draw cards. Not necessarily the best support, but I think Burnley is just you being able to consistently do 4 attacks every turn, which is really nice. And a Persona Researcher. Next, we have this double R, Carefree After School Florette. So this is a Kairi support card. And she has 2 abilities, which is auto. When this unit is placed on rigor circle, you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Kairi in this card name. This unit gets boosted 5,000 power to the end of that turn. And the second ability is auto rigor circle. At the end of your turn, you can Counterblast 1 and put this unit in soul. You draw a card. It chooses one of your Vanguards, and you return 1 card to your hand by selecting up to 1 of your rearguards for each grade 2 of that unit. So basically, for the second effect, if you have a grade 3 Kairi, you only return 1, but if you have a grade 4 Kairi, you're able to return 2. So I think this is really neat because you could call her during the battle phase or main phase, and she's a 15k booster or attacker, which is pretty good. And the second effect is if you have spare Counterblast, you're able to return your important units that are in the front row or back row, wherever you want. So you remove herself, you add cards into Soul, which is very important, since Kairi Soul Blast is to bounce. And Penelope, the grade 2 triple R from set 4 that you can use to restand a rear guard. I mean her booster and restand a column. Now you can return her back to hand or another card back to hand. But her and Penelope in the same column is a 30k swing twice, which is pretty good. And if you get it like an extra 5k, that's 35 twice, which is really, really strong. And she does have the stasis name, but I think this is a very good support card. For grade 4 Kairi, obviously, if you call her as a booster for Kairi, you you call units in the front row, you attack, you bounce it back, you call in the back. You can use her effect to bounce those 2 back at the end of your turn. If you have any Yuikas or any other cards like that, I think this is really strong. I think it's a good card for Kairi as well. Just depending on the space of what other engine cards you're running. Next, we have this double R, which is Happy Sharing Finella. So she has 1 ability, which is when this unit boosts a rear guard. If you Persona roll this turn, choose one of your Vanguards, you Combos 1, and Soul Boss 1. Give it the continuous effect. Continuous, all of your rear guards give 5,000 power to the end of turn. And then at the end of battle, you put this unit at the bottom of your deck. So this is like half of Vlasha Blanc. Because Vlasha Blanc, if you Persona Road, if she's placed, you can just Combos 1 and just give your Vanguard the continuous your front row rear guards get it. But this one is all of your rear guards, I believe. I could be wrong. It is just a mistranslation from the could be a mistranslation just from the translate here. But if it's all of your rear guards, I think that's pretty good too. However, you have to boost with your rear guard first, before using any other effect. It is a Counter Blast and a Soul Blast in a Persona Ride requirement. Compared to Vlasha Blanc just needs to Persona Ride, and you're just playing Counter Blast 1 of your front row gets 5k. But I think this is a good unit for decks that have space, especially for decks that have low power rear guards like Pacifica, and like you can pump even more numbers with Hazoret and other decks as well. I believe this is the last double R, and we have Cynical Composer Realm. So she has 2 abilities, which is continuous, rigor circle during your turn. During the battle, this unit boosted. If you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Chris Rain in her card name, this unit gets 5,000 power. And the second ability is Auto Rigor Circle. With this unit boosts the Vanguard grade 3 or greater with Chris Rain in this card name. And each of your units have 4 or more cards with different card names. Costs Energy Blast 3. And it's if your opponent doesn't, it's when a card is called a Guard Circle that doesn't have the Sentinel ability, your opponent cannot guard unless they call 3 or more different grades at the same time. Yeah. So for the first part of her ability to continue was she's a 13k booster. Pretty good just to make solid numbers. I mean, it's pretty like a standard number that some grade 1s are like 13k boosters or attackers. But the second effect is really, really interesting. It really pressures your opponent. So it has to boost specifically Chris Rain, the Vanguard Chris Rain, so you can't put on the rear guard, unfortunately. I mean, like in another lane and try to get the effect off. So when she boosts it, your Chris Rain has like a critical and a bunch of power from other effects. Your opponent either has to call a Sentinel, or if they don't have a Sentinel, they have to call 3 or more different grades in order to guard it. So I think this is a unique form of guard restrict. I don't know if they've done this in V or Premium yet. I mean, like, yeah, V or Premium yet, but it using energy is fine as well. Just because Chris Rain energy charges 3. And it puts a unique form of pressure on your opponent that Chris Rain can essentially just be like every single time she swings, she checks for a PG. Same for Finno too. But Finno kind of runs out of steam later. Chris Rain can just keep doing this over and over multiple turns, as well as just being able to recoup her hand. and getting a lot of resources back just because of her effects. But this card, I think it's gonna allow Chris Rain to pressure opponent. I'm not sure if this is like it's a card you want to play, but I'm not sure if it's like something you have to like find in order to win. So I'm not really sure because I haven't tested anything. But I think this card is really interesting, and unfortunately can't be played at premium because it's an energy blast cost. Okay, next we're on the rares. Yeah, so we have Violet Flash Wizme. So she has one ability, which is when this unit attacks a Great Theory or greater Vanguard. If you have a Great Theory or greater Vanguard with Chris Rain in this card name, you count mouse one, and this unit gets 15,000 power, 10 and out of battle. This is just a simple 20k attacker. I think it's okay. But her using Counter Blast is what kind of makes it like unappealing, since Chris Ray is using Counter Blast, NS is using Counter Blast, and whatever other cards that might use Counter Blast uses Counter Blast. So it's kind of like, but like, again, you could just run it as like a 2 or 1 copy. So I don't think it's that that bad of a card to put in the deck. Next we have Theater Lesson Replay. So she has one ability, which is when it's used discarded from your hand during your ride phase, you can call this card to Rigor Circle as rest. So it's a rare. I mean, I don't see any use for it now. Missed the double R cycle. Oh, the Persona Eye booster. Yeah, I talked about it. But yeah, but this card, I think it's like, I don't know. It's kind of weird because like, even if you don't use it, like it's, I guess it's okay, right? Because it's kind of like you get a free card on board. You don't have to pay any like resource for it. The thing is, it doesn't do anything else. Like if you're on your grade 3 turn, it doesn't do anything else. And it's just like an AK vanilla. So like, I think it's like okay, like during the early stages or some deck that wants the Rigards filled early. But it comes as rest, so you can't really like attack with it. It's like the Tat Green Girl grade 1. You mean Justine? Justine is a lot better. Well, not in standard, mostly a premium, but I think even Justine, because she comes as Stan, even though she uses a soul, but Justine can be discarded during the turn. This one is specifically during your ride phase, so. Now, if this was like during your turn, this will be a lot more better, but it's not. Next, we have Hasty Loafer Nina. So she has one ability, which is auto when his unit. Oh, when his unit is boost. When his unit boosts, if you have 3 or more units with different names, yeah, with different names, you can boss 1, energy boss 2, and this unit gets 5 power during that battle. Good budget card. What, this one? For what? Well, which budget card are you talking about? The last card or this one? I could be reading this wrong, but hold on. Let me get up CFA just to make sure. This one, let me see. Oh, it draws 1. I think it draws 1. This is why I'm getting CFA up right now. Let me put a default. Where is it? Oh yeah, okay. If you have 3 or more units with different names, Cameras 1 and Energy Boss 2 draw a card. This unit gets, yeah. I think this is a pretty good card. It does draw 1, and Energy Boss 2 is a 13k booster. Also, it's pretty decent in the early game too, because if you do get the, I mean, it'll be her, your Vanguard, and another unit. That's 3 different units. Wait, 3 different units or 3 other different units? Hold on. Oh, no, 3 more units. Yeah. So it's pretty good in the early game because you kind of also want to draw a card and get some power and aggro as well. So I think it's a pretty okay rare. Next is the new Sentinel. This is the same as all the other Sentinels. When this unit is placed at guard circle, choose where units it cannot be hit to the end of that battle. If you have 2 or more cards in your hand, choose a card from your hand to discard it. So I like the art a lot. This is a normal Sentinel. I thought we'd be getting new Sentinels, but I guess not yet. Okay, next we have the grade 2 for Maryland's Ryline. So she has 2 abilities, which is when this unit is written by grade 3 Maryland, you choose one of your rear guards and return it to hand. If you return it, you call this card a rear guard circle. And continuous guard circle. If you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Maryland in its card name, this unit's shield is 10,000. So before I talk about that, let me talk about the grade 1, which is this. So Maryland's grade 1 is heartwarming Lyrical. So she has 2 abilities, which is when this unit is written by Ready to Sing LaRousse. Wait. Yeah, Ready to Sing LaRousse, which is the card I just read before. Choose up the 1 normal unit of grade 2 or lower from your hand and call it a regular circle. And when you call it, you can search your deck up to 1 card with the same name as that unit called with this ability. You reveal it, add it to hand, and shuffle your deck. And the second ability is continuous regular circle. During your turn, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Maryland in its card name, this unit gets 5,000 power. So, first off, this allows you to like call any card that you want to like aggro with, or just search out, right? And you can search it, add it to hand. So if you're looking for a specific card, you're able to just call it and then get another copy. So I think that alone is what makes it like really good, because you're able to compress your deck as well as getting more copies of a card that you already have. So if you mulligan for a specific like grade 2 or grade 1, you can get that, call it, and just get another card of it. So if you have Yuika, you can just call Yuika, get another Yuika, and call whatever grade 2 or grade 1 in the front row to aggro. And then if your opponent somehow retires that, you have another Yuika in your hand already ready. Or whatever card that you're going to use. Which is really good. The second effect, you're not going to be really calling this unless there's other cards in the future that are able to call like cards from your soul, well, Maryland specifically. But I really dig the art though. I really dig the art. And her grade 2, I think this grade 2 is like okay. My only issue is that like you have to write your grade 3 in order to bounce back a card from your regular circle to hand. And if you did, you can call this card. So if you don't have anything to bounce, I guess you're just not calling this card. And that's like an issue that I sort of have, but I don't think it's that much of an issue depending on like what. Well, if we're ever talking about meta wise, I don't think there's a lot of retire or cards that like just single out your rear guards and like puts them to drop zone or bind zone yet. I mean, not yet, but just at the moment. So I think it's okay to play this card. But her second effect is really good. It kind of makes it worth it to play this as your grade 2 in the right line, because you're able to just call this and get a 15k shield back to your hand. However, she doesn't have any power. I kind of wish like it gave it like 5k power, 5k shield instead of the 10k shield, but that's just me. I think those two are pretty okay for a Rhine line. Next we have this common. Oh, we're done with the rares? Okay. This common, playful graffiti Silichi. So she has one ability, which is when this unit is placed on a regular circle during a battle phase. If you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard or Maryland in its card name, this unit gets tons of power to the end of the turn. It's a conditional 20k attacker. I think we have other cards that can hit 20k while being needing to be placed during the battle phase. You can even play Calfley as a grade 3, and that one's just better. It's just when it's placed. So, I mean, this one does have shield, but this one needs to be placed by a card ability, specifically during the battle phase. It doesn't have to be placed by Marilyn herself, just placed during the battle phase, which I don't know. I don't really like those type of cards. It's just added extra condition to it. Oh, now this card, yeah, I remember this card. So we have, I'm sure this goodness is, wait, that's not her actual name. Her name is, where'd it go? Okay. This frustration must be Regatta. So when this unit attacks a vanguard, you can energy blast 4. Choose one of your other front or rear guards. Return the hand to this unit gets 5 as a power 10 in the battle. So this card I think is really good. Like in weird situations, like in decks that those that use energy or can't really afford to play the new cycle card for some reason, just like not enough space or like not synergistic with it, I think this card is actually kind of good. Now, if you're going second, if it was on boost, I consider it in prisms. Yeah, but the thing is, if it was on boost, then this will be like a triple R card rather than a common. Hello, welcome. Like I think like for decks that don't like need a specific kind of front row, like a 50k attacker that can bounce back your other rear guard, I think it's pretty good, especially for no Counter Blast or Soul Blast cost. So like I don't know, like I could play this in like Kyoka, for example, if I don't have double restander for some reason. It's a grade 2, and I mean, if I don't use the energy cycle or other energy blast cards, this is a good card. I could just return my restander to my hand or another card, and it's not restricted to like what card you return to as well. Like if you call like a grade 3, you could just bounce it back. It's not locked it's not locked to like what your opponent's grade is or what your grade is. You just bounce it back for energy blast 4. If you're going second, I believe you can use this effect like on your grade 2 turn. But if you're going first, you can only use this on your grade 3 turn, which is okay because it just saves some stuff back. It recoups your hand, getting ready for your opponent's next turn. So I think this is like a low-key kind of like sleeper card, just because it just bounces back without needing a soul or a counter blast. Next, we have Chris Rain's Riot Line, and her name is Kavita Aqua Musette, sorry. Now, she has one ability, which is when this unit is written on by a grade 3 with Chris Rain in their card name, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a normal unit of grade 3 or lower, call it to rear circle. If it's not, add to your hand. And let me go to the grade 1. Oh, here it is. Okay. And the grade 1 is Live Navy Tiffany. So she has one ability, which is when this unit is rolled upon by Confident Aqua Musette, reveal one card from the top of your deck. If it's a normal unit of grade 2 or lower, call it to rear circle. If not, add it to hand. So both of these, I want to like them, but it just reminds me of like, why about I just call it PG and I can't bounce it back? Like, yeah, you can use the divine skill, but just to get one PG back, I don't know. That's my only gripe. Like, if you, well, for the grade 1 and grade 2 specifically, if you have to end up calling it PG, you're just kind of out of luck if you can't bounce it back. And the grade 2 specifically, where'd you go? Yeah. If you end up getting a Chris Rain from that, you can't, like, it's kind of stuck there until you use the divine skill. Yuika. Yeah, but remember, everyone's thinking, oh, it's Highlander, I should just play 2 or 3 rather than just 4 copies of it. So what if you don't get Yuika? You're just caught out of luck. Now, I guess the good thing about this is that you do call units for free, but like, I don't know, like, It's just something I don't think like it should be ran yet. Especially since we have some cards that are locked to Chris range, so like even if you do call them, their effects are not going to activate. So I don't know. I think you could play a different Ryline for Chris Rain than that. We're almost done. Next, we have her starter. And why you see I hate Highlander. Well, I'll explain it later. But this was from the trial deck. Also, this was used in the anime as well. Wonder Lavor, Lavender, Urchulish. I don't know how to say the name, but it's pretty much just all of the D starters have the same thing. Nothing unique about it. And we have 2 orders. Yeah, I think that's the last of them. So we have a normal order called Cutting Out the Everyday. So the cost is paying Energy Boss 2. Choose 3 rear guards with different card names, and they each get 5 of power to the end of turn. Honestly, just play Super Aesthetic Shot over this. Like, it's energy, sure. So like you can get a ton of energy playing Chris Rain, or you can even play this in Patroka if you want. But I think there's just better options to play than this. However, you can play this on grade 2, so you can be a little aggro with this compared to Super Aesthetic Shot. So, I think that's like the only plus that you get from this is like, you can use this earlier to Super Aesthetic Shot, and it doesn't use a Counter Blast or Soul. So, and lastly, wait, did I do this one? No, I didn't. No, I missed these 2. Sorry. Next we have I'm not saying that first part. Flower Beds Serene. So she has 1 ability, which is auto. When this unit is discarded from your hand during your ride phase, you Soul Blast 2 to draw 1. So it's a grade 2. I thought it was a grade 1. It's say first part bonk. Suku. Yeah. Okay. So this card, I don't think it's that good. Like, specifically during your eye phase, you have to Soul Blast 2. I mean, okay, the only like say kawaii way. No, I'm not saying it that way. Like, the only funny thing I can think of is like if I use this for Herminia for whatever reason, like, oh, I need to empty soul drastically, which I never really do now. I can Soul Blast 2, I have 1 soul left, and I can empty out with like a Riley or something there. But like, I don't think this card is all that good yet. More so, it's a common, so we'll see. But I don't think so. Yeah, really only active when you're riding a grade 3. Which is okay, I guess. Unless you play the Willissa ride line. Yeah. And this common. Days of Consistent Smiling Alba. So she has 1 ability, which is on Rear Guard Circle and Guard Circle. If you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Chris Rain in his card name, this unit gets 5 as a power or 5 as a shield. And this works during your opponent's turn as well. So, a 13k booster, an attacker, and a 10k shield. Good. I think this is a good card. You have to wait to turn 3, but I think it's good either way. It just exists as a 13k attacker, booster, and 10k shield. I like it. It's a good card for Chris Rain. And lastly, I think this is a Blitz order. Yeah. Yeah, the stars twinkle on the night like this, and it is a Blitz order. So the cost is paying Energy Blast 2. Let me read on CFA. Okay, so if your rear guard was put anywhere other than to rear guard circle by your opponent's card effect this turn, choose where your unit's being attacked, and it gets 25,000 power to the end of battle. So it was put anywhere. Okay, so if it was bound or retired, or yeah, bound or retired, like against Sienna. Yeah, yeah. Um, or return to your hand. That is true. You can play this for Energy Blast 2 and get 25,000 power. I kind of like this card. Because against decks that like to retire or like attack into your rear guard, it's just active, right? Oh, by your opponent's card this turn. Due to the effect of your opponent's card. Oh, so they can't attack into it. Wait. No, it has to be effect. Attacking is not an effect. So if they retire stuff, retire one of your rear guards, or they bounce it, bound it. If it's not placed on rear guard circle, you can use this. I think this is really good. Especially against like heavy retire decks or decks in the future that's gonna like move your cards other than the rear guard circle. I have the bad habit of making a blitz aura that almost every matchup, but you can only use it against that specific matchup. Yeah, retire, bound, return to hand. Oh, prison. It put in the soul. That is true. Yeah, you use this against prison. If there's a unit that puts into soul. I think this is a really good card. Like, I don't know how it'll be in the meta, but I think like it's a good tech option if there's like a deck that's like really, really strong and it just like removes your rear guard somehow. If you just need shield, you could tech this in as a way to just get a 25k shield. And we do have other cards that can recycle those too. Against you if they put your cards back to deck. Yep, they do. From Tempest or other cards that do that. I actually like this a lot more than I thought it was. Because I read it the first time, I didn't really get it. And now I'm like, it's not that bad actually. Making sure. No, there's no other triggers other than over trigger. So yeah. Okay. So there's only like really like two. I mean, if you get the star deck from Merlin, I guess you could build Merlin from the set too. But you can only really build Chris Rank from the set. I guess I'll talk about Merlin first. Hold on. Yeah, so Merlin, I don't think I ever did a video on this. No, I didn't. I might have talked about it on stream, but anyway, Merlin, she has two effects, which is act, carry mouse 1 once a turn. Actually, let me make this bigger. Let me go to my CFA one. There we go. That's a much better. Where did Merlin go? Okay. You carry mouse 1, search deck up to one card with the same name as this unit. Reveal it and put it in your hand. Shuffle your deck, and this unit gets talents of power. It's in a turn. And the second ability is Vanguard. When this unit attacks the Vanguard, Energy Blast 4. Choose one of your rear guards to return to hand. Choose up to a grade 3 or less unit card from your hand and call it to open rear guard circle, and it gets talents of power to the end of the turn. So Merlin, obviously she searches for a Persona Ride, which is really, really good. Because you don't have to like try to dig for a Persona Ride during your like mulligan, so you just know that your Vanguard just gets it for a counter blast. And the Energy Blast 4 to get a multi-attack, it's pretty good. It gets 10k power too, so if you're going first, it's gonna like maybe hit over opponent's defensive trigger if they didn't hit the over trigger. The cost of Energy Blasting 4 is a bit rough, so you aren't able to play like the cycle card, for example, or like the Persona Ride. No, you can. Or like this card or stuff that uses energy in the future until we get Energy Charger. So this is kind of limited to how many times you can like get energy, and eventually you might run out if you haven't closed the game. But the thing about her is that you're able to just get Persona Rise consistently for the most part. Let me go to Lyrical. So I think specifically for for Marilyn, if I can find the card. Yeah, I think this card will be really good. Just because, for one, you can search it. If you have it in your hand, you can search it from your deck. And you got 2 instantly. Two, you can get that, like, if you Persona Ride and Caller, right? No. If you Persona Ride, Caller, Soul Blast out the grade 3, you could just keep sort of, not looping, but you get, like, more extended Persona Rides just because of this card, which is really good as well. So, also, Persona Ride based cards are way more consistent. So, let me see. Where is it? This card, I think this card is going to have a lot of value. Just because you can attack with, like, a huge column. Or, like, you can attack with Marilyn, bounce it back, call that unit, and then swing with that, swing with this last, bounce that column back. And if you have Yuika in this column, you're able to bounce her back too. You Persona Ride, you do it again. I think this card is going to be really good with Marilyn. Like, she doesn't draw anything, but cards that like value from being, like, called during battle phase, or like an on-place draw effect. And if we get, like, a good way to, like, countercharge, like, decently, I think it's going to be, like, really, really good for Marilyn. But Marilyn is just super generic. You can use a lot of triple Rs. You can have an order-based engine for Strega. You could just go, like, the pure, like, Yuika Washa Blanc combo. And you can just play any card that you think is kind of, like, cool for you, as well as her ride line. Like, I like Sienna's ride line, like, a lot, just because it's interactable by opponent and they cannot rush me, but I can rush them safely without having to worry about discarding important pieces. But then again, like, you can play Marilyn's ride line, and I think she gets a lot of value from that as well. Cards that like, get power for if a unit is bounced, let me see, or activate effects when they're bounced, like Ferretti, works really well. There's another card. It's Aljeet. She can be placed by Marilyn herself. She gets 5k power with Marilyn's 10k. She's a 25k attacker. Or if she's on another rearguard circle, when a unit is bounced, she gets 5k power. I mean, No. The Vanguard gets 5k power. So Marilyn is hitting 28k. Minimum, like, on your first grade 3 turn, even Persona Ride, it's going to be 38, which is even huge, which is even larger. And, like, I think it just works well with, like, cards that want to see bouncing, or just have, like, a really strong on-place effect that you can just bounce it back and just do it again. Yeah. So I'm actually interested to build Marilyn too. Just because how simple the effect is. I think the only issue that I kind of have is, like, using energy and, like, reserving energy and thinking about what cards to play, because we have a decent amount of energy cards that use energy, but she uses 4. You charge 3 every turn. Eventually she negs 1 every, like, other turn. So she's not energy positive to say. Me playing too much Honkai Star Rail, you know, go SP positive and stuff. So she's, like, she's energy negative. And compared to something like Chris Rain, she just gains 3 for a counter blast 1. And then, you know, the new cycle card, this card, or any other card that uses energy in the future, you're always going to be positive, because if you can get at least 2 of the effects, your energy charge 3 at the start of your turn, and then you just use Chris Rain's effect and you charge another 3. So you're always going to be, like, positive with energy. But with Marilyn, you're negative. So, bro, welcome. Right now, I finished talking about most of the cards. I'm just talking about my overall thoughts about the bosses. So now, Chris Rain in general, I think, like, I don't think she needs to be built for a Highlander playstyle. I think we just need to have enough cards that can consistently fulfill the requirement of needing like 5 different name cards. You don't need specifically one ofs because this isn't like Patroka or V Reindeer or like no V Reindeer or like old grade 3 Olivia that you need to reveal 3 different. I mean all different cards. What's that? She could copy power and crits. Yeah, it's her divine skill. You're able to return everything back to. I mean all your rear guards back to hand. If you choose a card from your hand, and that unit that you called copies her crit and power. So if you get all of her effects. It give the 15k power to herself and the crit, that unit will now get that power and crit. If you use the divine skill. So like deck building wise, I still think you play good stuff, right? You just play Ines and definitely where is it? I don't think I put it in here. But that grade 1 that gets the power shield. Excuse me. Power shield I think is good. Energy Charge 3 is a huge buff in my mind. Yeah, like, I think it will be more apparent once we get more Energy Blast cards, but this is just the first set where Energy just came out. So we don't have that many cards. Like, the Cycle card, this card with Chris Rain will be really well, because you already have Access Energy. The Persona Ride not Persona Ride Booster. This card uses Energy. The both new orders uses Energy. And the thing about Chris Rain is that because you're using like stuff that isn't from your soul is now a resource for other powerful cards that you want to play. So if you wanted to play Eleanor, you could play Eleanor. You get a 25k attacker. You have enough soul to do that if you play cards like that. And there's probably other cards too, but like Chris Rain being able to make you energy positive is really good. To a rear, they will override Katila's power. Really? When Chris Rain gives power to the rear, they will override Katila's power up to 3,000? I'm not sure. Oh, you mean if they have a Katila's ability? I thought it just adds on to it. Oh, no. Yeah. I'm not sure how that works. I'm not a judge. I mean, yeah. I'm not really sure how that works, so I'll believe you. I'll believe you. But I'm trying to think. I think she's really just held back by just the I don't get the question. I think he's asking or just saying that will you use Chris Rain if say like there's a card that has a continuous ability like I don't know, what will you use? Oh, like that grade 1 or something. Like if the power added on, or is it just match that power regardless? So not sure. Vosh Blanc. Oh, true. Well, Vosh is a continuous ability and super aesthetic shot too, so no, I don't think it stacks. Yeah, I'm not really sure if it stacks or not. I thought it just adds it all later, but it matches the power, so I don't think it like goes up even with the continuous effect, so but yeah, I think the big issue with Chris Rain is that like her act ability, like even though it gives so much of these resources, well, for energy you draw, the 15k power, I don't think it will come. I mean, like, giving it to the Vanguard is fine if you get the crit, or you choose to get the power crit and not the, you know, draw 1 energy. The thing is, like, your rear guards have to do a lot of the work, and you don't even have like she has a multi attack, but that's a once time multi attack, and if the rear guards don't hit hard enough, then they're not doing enough to the opponent to lose cards in their hand or to close out the game. However, I think this will be improved by just adding more cards that like plus you if you're on Chris Rain specifically, or cards that like have other guard restricts, or they they themselves either restand or get a multi-attack. Or gain crit. Because her 50k power could just be put to a unit that gets a crit. Like, this is a bad example. Don't use this card. Where is it? Like this card. Like, you can counterblast 2. She gets a crit when she's placed. And you can use Chris Rain to counterblast 1. And now you have a 25k and a crit rear guard. Don't do this, but it's just something. It's just something that you could do, or something they could do, like have a rear guard against a crit. It's probably other cards, but I'm not gonna go through all of them. So I will be trying to build both. Do it CB2 crit to win. I mean, I don't even have it. Wait, no, I have this card somewhere. Is this a common or a rare? I think it's a rare. It might have a hollow. Even so, I need like a countercharge engine spec. Like, I will need to play. No, Inger would not work. I'll have to play her in an order-based engine so I can get the countercharge. If I display, I'm gonna put the other faded unit on display. I focus mainly on Chris Rain. If I get them all, yeah. You can put Chris Rain other decks for a meme. To be honest, I can see that. Like, you do have a point, Tay. Like, if for a meme, right? Like, you could just put one of in your deck. Like, oh, I'm losing a game. Oh, I guess I should just ride Chris Rain and use the divide skill. Like, I can see that as like just a one-of option in your deck. Cause like, it just depends on the deck though. Try the Sato deck for the memes. Sato deck. Oh, you mean her deck? I'm not sure what Sato deck you're talking about. But yeah, overall, I think Lyrical being this set is really good for the nation overall. Not a lot of cards, but oh, it's a Highlander. Oh, I see. Oh, overall, I think it's good that Lyrical's in main sets now. Not a lot of cards, but the cards that they did get is interesting enough. Like, there's not that many bad cards. Like, this is a bad card. Some of the vanilla... No. This is a vanilla. They made it different. Sienna has 4 attacks. Sienna has 4 attacks? Oh, you're talking about putting her in Sienna for 4 attacks. I mean, you could. But, like, most of your cards won't work because you're not on Sienna anymore. But yeah. Let me go to the room. Now I want to bring up TCG Player because I want to look at some prices because some of them are kind of ridiculous. That's not it. Okay, here we go. Oops. Wait, let me go to set 4. Okay, here we go. Okay, I did high to low, so. So MSP is around 450, 500 sort of. Oh, Planet. I thought Top Idol would be more expensive, but Planet Idol's 350. 310. Sienna's out of stock. Interesting. Like, before I talk about that, let me go to like best selling. I'm about to give it a think over on how to build it. See you do. No problem. Thanks for joining. I really appreciate you joining by in the stream. So Yuika, we put out Kyrie in Chris Rain deck list. An updated Kyrie list. I can make an updated Kyrie list, but I don't know I don't know if I'll do both because I don't really like the grade 4 variant. I just like the Persona Ride variant, so I'll probably make both. A Chris Rain deck list, I'll definitely make it. I know WCC did make a deck list for Chris Rain, but I haven't really looked over it yet, nor have I play tested it. So Yuka, she is cheaper, but it is what it is. Strega, I thought she would be a lot more expensive, honestly. Now this card, I don't know what's going on with this. Like, even the first effect for premium, we could just play the grade 1 instead. Like, I'm not really sure what's going on here. Charm being 10, this is 10, that's understandable. Sienna 10, I don't know. It could be just hype. It could just be me though. The War Original being this much? I pulled 2 of my, like, 2 boxes I got. But I wasn't too sure about that. I'm surprised Labrador is, like, this cheap. I thought she'd be more expensive. Now, yeah, I would recommend people to get this early, just in case when we get the Stride deck sets, or whenever they randomly reveal it, you already have it. I did pull one, but I traded it for another card, so. Wait. Okay. I thought it would be more other surprising prices. I think those are just the only ones. Yeah, everything else is... Yeah, everything else is kind of cheap, yeah. Okay, I thought I'll be more interesting ones, but I guess not. So... Okay, that's a bit too long. So... I'll call it end for this review for the set for DZ booster set 1. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'll try to make some deck lists that came from this because I know Kyrie got support and I really like that support. Chris Rain obviously, and Maryland, which I'm kind of interested in building. So, and with that being said, I'm Zenarion. Yeah, I'm sorry.